Hi, so my name is Brandi Wynne, and I'm the chair of the Trainee Advocacy Committee. And I'm here with Dr. Cam McCarthy. He's the vice chair, as well as two very important guests. Dr. Anna Dominiczak, she's a current editor-in-chief of Hypertension, as well as this year's Hypertension Early Career Award winner, Dr. John Henry Dasinger from Medical College of Georgia at Augusta University. So a little bit about this award. So the Hypertension Early Career Award winner is chosen from the top abstracts, all the top abstracts from the early careers submitted to the AHA Hypertension Scientific Sessions meeting. Then we have an oral award session, and the top winner is chosen from amongst them. So first, Dr. Dominiczak, you and the Hypertension Journal have been a longtime supporter of TAC, as well as this particular award. Can you speak to the importance of this award and why you choose to support it so strongly?
Right. So, as you know, hypertension relies on great authors, great reviewers, and we've always been supportive about young investigators from very early on. As you know, I'm coming to the end of my 10 years as editor-in-chief. From very early on, when we had meetings in person, remember these wonderful times, we always had sessions serving young investigators, for example, how to publish in the journal, how to be the best reviewer you can be. And all these have been really important for us. We also always supported when we had money. And this was always the sort of cause at the top of everything. So we never said no during my editorship, because support for early career prizes when you guys compete with the best research at our meetings is hugely important. And of course, we always invited all the competitors to submit papers to hypertension. Some of you might be old enough to remember when there were physical, you submitted actual paper to hypertension. Remember, you could do it at the meeting. These were the times, yes, and lots of people, so really good papers would be submitted from young investigators at the annual hypertension meeting. So million reasons to support this particular award. There is nothing more important than good science. The rest, the politics with little p, not that important.
Congratulations, John Henry, on your award. Could you please give us a little elevator pitch about your work and then elaborate on how it's going to help you achieve your long and short-term goals?
Thank you. Yes. So my work is focused on two aims, really. The first is to understand the mechanisms of preeclampsia, specifically the role of the immune system and oxidative stress. And then secondly, it's looking at the long-term consequences of maternal health following a preeclamptic pregnancy. Again, looking at the mechanisms of the immune system and reactive oxygen species.
And can you just briefly elaborate like how this award may help you in the long term, or short and long term?
Absolutely. So where I'd like to head with this research is really look at the role of the renal consequences of a preeclamptic pregnancy and future health. So this award will allow me to help really dig into those renal mechanisms and set up some exciting experiments that we have proposed later in the spring. And then in turn, hopefully long-term, be able to set up my own lab based off of some of these exciting data.
Thank you, John Henry. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Yes, I think Dr. Dominiczak has some questions for you as well.
Yeah, so very interesting abstract and very elegant model. Of course, there is a lot of work in humans, in human post-pregnancy, and the majority of studies look at overall cardiovascular complications, or cardiovascular risk is maybe better to say. And this isn't so much about the kidney and more about blood pressure, cardiovascular and vascular phenotypes. So an obvious question from me your model of multiple pregnancies and then kidney abnormality in dull salt sensitive, before you do any manipulation, have you looked at blood pressure, left ventricle and its size, and other vascular phenotypes? So other phenotypes, I know renal very important, but there is all the rest that I think contributes. You know, these women post preeclampsia do have increased cardiovascular risk. They have MIs and strokes earlier than the rest of population. And we do nothing about it. And the time has come to do something about it. So have you looked at these other phenotypes?
So at baseline, in terms of blood pressure, they have comparable blood pressures compared to their virgin controls. But I have not looked at any of the cardiac phenotypes yet. Actually, this week, I just met with an investigator at Augusta University to learn some of the vascular measurements to look at endothelial dysfunction. So hopefully that will be something I can really dig into the future. But you're absolutely correct. The cardiovascular effects of preeclampsia are significant in these women. So it's very important to understand what's happening so we can help their long-term health.
Yeah, I used to run the complex pregnancy clinic in our academic hospital for some 20 years. And I've seen a lot of this, you know, with very bad preeclampsia and all sorts of things. And some of these women are also extremely unwell post-delivery. When preeclampsia is gone and the cardiac and cardiovascular abnormalities take over. So we've seen cardiomyopathies. This is well described in medical human literature. And I think it would be hugely interesting to broaden your scope of phenotyping, because you might actually show multi-organ problems. I suspect that it's not limited to the kidney. Of course, then they will ask you what is primary, what is secondary, as we know, but it would be nice to characterize the whole system.
Absolutely, I agree. And I will say we have started to, at least at the end of this study, start to collect heart weights, but we haven't dove into any of those specific phenotypes in the cardiac realm yet. But yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea and something that could help me long-term with my own career to branch out other than the kidney.
Yeah, so, you know, telemetry for blood pressure, echo, a nice echo, which is now really easy to do and many labs do it, and vascular, you know, nitric oxide availability, oxidative stress in the vasculature, endothelial function would be hugely interesting, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Well, I don't think many people get that much time with Dr. Dominiczak one-on-one going over the research. So this has been really exciting. Congratulations, Dr. Dasinger. This is really great. We're excited for you. You have a great presentation. All the finalists are great. And I want to give a special thanks to Dr. Dominiczak for her continued support of this award and for being such a great editor-in-chief and role model for us all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brandi. Thank you all. And congratulations again for your prize. Very well deserved. Thank you.
Thank you so much.